Now we get the inside scoop.
Oh, that's right.
To let us know how the Broncos not just won, but dominated this game. And Todd, why don't you take us into the game and get us the nitty-gritty of how this happened?
So I put together some plays here. I didn't do all the, most flashy plays because everybody's seen those. We kind of have an understanding for those. But these are just a couple plays I feel like really impacted the game. And this is the reason why the Denver Broncos won.
I love it.
So this first one is play to Courtland Sutton. It ends up being a long pass on 3rd and 8. A drive that he already possibly affected with getting the PI penalty. And this ends up leading to a score by Samaje. And it's man-to-man, and it's Courtland Sutton continuing to run these overs. I don't think an over, which is here, has been covered yet against Courtland Sutton. Every time we run it, he's open. They like to run these crossing routes with Jerry Jeudy coming across the field here and Courtland Sutton coming across here. He does a great job of getting open on these plays, and he always finds the soft spot. And I think when he's running away from you, this is a pretty good corner in, not Denzel Ward, but the other guy, what's his name? Yeah, Newsome, and he can't stick with them. I think Courtland's too fast. The other thing I wanted to point out here is that this O-line is protecting at such a high rate, man. They're doing such a good job. I think it's partly the O-line, but it's partly Russell Wilson. This O-line is understanding where he wants to be. And what they've kind of figured out is they want to keep him in the pocket. What Russ was doing was he was escaping outside of the tackles, and the tackles were pushing their guys out. So then Russ was running right into him and getting sacks. So now they know that they're just trying to create a wall and push everybody by, and Russ, stay in the pocket. Don't try to leave, because this is where all the bodies are that we're pushing out.
Yeah.
And that's allowing Russ to have so much more time back there, and it's making the O-line look like they're doing a great job, which they were doing a great job, but he was running into their protection and kind of hurting them sometimes. So this ends up being a great play to Courtland. Russ makes the pass still under duress, and this leads to the first touchdown by Samaje. So big time play.
Man, Todd, that's such a good point, because a lot of people, and over the past year and a half, have been saying, well, yeah, Russ leads the NFL in sacks, and a lot of that is on him. And now we're seeing how they're playing together and how that really works together, and how it's not just the offensive line getting better, it's the unit with Russ as one playing as a whole.
They're playing much more cohesive.
Well, I saw you pull up this play, and I was like, okay, Todd's going to talk about like the route, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to point out like Russ and his patience like this. And it's like, nope, Todd's got it covered. Todd
I got you, my guy. Don't even worry.
Todd, are you going to talk about the touchdown pass to Adam Troutman?
No.
Because that one's talked about a lot already.
Yes.
And one of the things is the offensive line. I mean, Russ could have just sat down and then stood up again and then had that
That'd
play,
be a fun
because
play.
the protection was, exactly. The protection was insane there, and then Russ did a great job of finding the openings too.
Yeah, they're really, really coming together as a unit. And I think it's really, really helping the offense look phenomenal because they really are doing a great job. Here is a 3rd and 6, very important play. And this is man-to-man coverage. And this is, you never know which play is going to impact the game the most. But this is man-to-man coverage. Singleton has the running back. Justin coming up and has the safety in this corner right here. Has the wide receiver man-to-man. This is a tight play, 3rd and 6. And I think this is, who is this right here? Yeah, Fabian comes up and makes a great tackle on 3rd and 6. If this guy, he could have easily gave up on this play and let the guy get the first down, but he used all his momentum to try to stop him. And then what I like is that all the Broncos are coming to help pull this guy back. They know that this is 3rd and 6. He's close to first down. We cannot let him get this first down right here. And I think this is one of the biggest plays of the game, because if we don't stop him right here, we don't know how this drive ends. But if you guys remember in the game, this stop leads to the very next play, which is a fumble by the tight end trying to do a QB sneak to get the first down. And if they don't stop him here, they never run that play. They never fumble the ball, and it's a completely different game.
Todd, tell me if I'm crazy here, but from an outside perspective, it seems like the Broncos' pass to opponents are getting way too cute with these 4th down and 3rd down plays. I mean, how often does a tight end take a snap under center?
Never.
They don't practice it. So are you shocked that it doesn't work and it fumbles?
Not at all.
And then how about the play that the Vikings ran against the Broncos, where a tight end takes a snap and tosses it to a quarterback on a sweep. I mean, if the Broncos had done that, I would be pulling my hair out. Like, what are we doing? If you want to run a sneak, do it with your quarterback who takes thousands of snaps in a season from your center. I'm just so happy that the Broncos are not the ones doing these idiotic plays where they're just trying to get too cute.
And then personally for me, I don't know why they went back to it. Like, the first time they tried to run it, it was a false start because now the tight end is trying to do a cadence that he doesn't do. So now the old lineman, okay, that play is scrap. We're not running that. And they come back to it and fumble the ball.
Yes.
That's what they get.
Well, and the reason they do that stuff, they don't have Quinn Miners, who just sneak behind every time, and it's worked every time.
Yeah.
Did it 2 more times this week.
Yeah. And all
gets
credit
pushed
to
every
Quinn,
time.
but like, even if I don't have Quinn Miners, I'm snapping the ball to my quarterback, not to a tight end.
The Broncos are just lucky they have that automatic sneak play because there's only a few teams in the league who can expect it to work every time.
Yeah. The Broncos, I mean, keep running those stupid plays against us, man. We'll take it every time. This is 3rd and 8, I believe, in the second quarter. This is a great pass to your guy, Marvin Mims. And I just wanted to point out Marvin doing a great job of, these pictures don't show it, but Marvin's lined up on this right side right here. He comes in, he kind of sits over the ball, and that's all his route was, but he does a great job of doing the scramble drill. Once Russ starts to scramble and get out of the pocket, Marvin converts his route from like a sit down here and turns upfield. And also, once again, this protection.
Look at that.
Russ had an opportunity to get outside of this this pass rusher and decided not to. He stayed inside, which allowed McGlinchey to push this guy by, which they want him to do. And he has all this space and opportunity to make these great throws. He ends up stepping up, and I think he finds Marvin Mims right here, which is a huge play within the game. I think it leads to another touchdown, 3rd and 8. Marvin does a great job running the scramble drill. Russ finds him. Offensive line does a great job in protection. And I think these plays are just getting better and better.
Man, look at all that space that Russ had in the backfield there.
Yep.
And it also plays so much into McGlinchey's strengths. McGlinchey and Bowles did a great job when the Browns edge rushers wanted to go on the outside.
Yep.
They said, okay, we'll let you go to the outside, and then we'll just push you 10 yards even further.
Exactly.
I mean, there's that one play where Bowles takes Myles Garrett, and takes it from the left side all the way to the other side of the offensive line on the right side.
All the way around the hoop. They're doing a great job. And I think it just makes sense. Like, you push the outside guys wide, and then we have 3-on-2 on the 2 inside guys. Like, we got to be able to hold up these guys with 3-on-2.
Well,
we got to make it happen.
That's what was happening all last week against the Vikings because they just drop everybody out and say rush 3. So your tackles kind of have tricky jobs. Then you just have like all 3 interior guys blocking 1 nose tackle or jumping off to help anywhere else. It's back-to-back weeks that they've protected so well.
Yep, they're doing a great job. All right, this is a great play because now this is making guys have to think, and they can't just play fast anymore. So this is part of the reason why I feel like Myles Garrett didn't have that great of a day, because not only was he blocked well, they made him think at times as well. So this is a great play. It's a zone read, and then they're going to have a lead blocker, and then Russ is going to take the ball out the back end. And the great thing about this is they make Myles Garrett have to think. So Myles has Russ right here. This is supposed to be blocked up. Everybody has an inside gap. Myles Garrett's supposed to come and take Russ, but he's thinking that he's not a threat. They're not used to him running.
Yep.
And this keeps them honest and allows them to make Myles have to play slow. So it's a great call by Sean, great zone read. And look at all this space. You got the fullback leading for Russ. Myles Garrett doesn't know what's going on. And, this is not like a super intricate play, but it's a great play call. And I feel like Sean was doing so many great things in the run game, on Sunday that don't get highlighted just because, they think it's just guys executing. But no, this is the actual play that was called that makes guys execute at this high of a level. And
credit to Sean, because one thing that I have not been able to get my mind around when it comes to the betting side of these games is rush running yards.
Yep.
Like, it's set at like always 20 to 25 yards or something, and he hits it like 3 straight games. So I'm like, oh, easy. He's going to get 40 this game, and then he doesn't have a single rushing attempt. But not only does that throw the betting side off, but it throws defenses off.
Sure.
Because Russ, I don't think maybe against I don't remember, but there's some games where he doesn't run at all. And then so what Myles Garrett sees on tape for a couple of weeks is, okay, he's going to hand this off every time, hand it off every time, hand it off. And then he takes it, and he's wide open against an extremely good defensive player in Myles Garrett. But that's why, and I think it's really smart of Sean sometimes to build the game plan of, okay, we really see that Russ can run for 50 yards in this game, and he's going to. But also, if we don't need him to run, let's not put it on tape. Let's confuse defenses a little bit. And that's something, that unpredictability is something that the Broncos really took advantage of last year against the Chiefs when Russ had the exact same play that went for a touchdown. And so I think it's just so smart to keep the defense guessing.
Yeah, and I mean, the way they're game planning all these runs is just crazy. Like, it's so impressive. I think, first, like you said, like, I think after the game, Sean said that they saw on tape that teams are having success running quarterback runs against the Browns, but then they come out and it's like, okay, first play, it's that toss crack, just crack back on Myles Garrett, take him out of the play. Second play, inside zone behind Quinn Miners, like another one of your just bread and butter. Here, it's like the read option where you put Myles Garrett in conflict. Like, they're just so smart with how they're calling these. It's not just, we want to run the ball, so here we go, it's a handoff over here. It's just so well planned out and schemed.
Speaking of that, that leads me directly to my
Is that
next
what it
play.
is?
So the Broncos all game were having success with Samaje P. Ryan, and both the running backs actually running a trap, which is this off the guard right here. He pulls and kicks out this D tackle, which means that the linebackers should step up and fill their gaps. Normally, if you have pullers, let me see if I can go back here. If you normally have pullers, that means your gap has moved over a gap, so you need to come over the top. But the unique thing about a trap, because it's all inside, you have to step up to fill your gap. If you go over the top, it's this huge void in here because he's hitting him, he's hitting him, and so there's just this open space in the middle. I don't know if you can see it if it's just scribbling, but there's just going to be a huge void if you don't step up. So the Broncos were doing that early on. So based off of that, the Browns made an adjustment, moved him from out here into a head up. They call it a 2-eye. He's head up on that tackle. So now the Broncos said, okay, we're not going to trap this tackle right here. What we're going to do is we're going to move this trap block all the way out here. Allow these guys to block down, and we'll see what happens. Well, the great thing about it is when you move that block outside, now you do have to come over the top of these blocks again. So it changes your fit as a linebacker. But since they weren't expecting it, they're expecting the same trap, these linebackers shoot straight downhill. Perfect.
Yeah.
We have the tight end to block him. We kick out right here, and there's a gaping hole right here because you guys are trying to adjust to what we've been running. But no, we're not running that anymore. So this is Sean Payton at his finest. Being able to make one small adjustment, and to people who watch on TV, it looks like the same play, but you don't know it completely changed the way that this thing is blocked up, and it allows for Javonte to have this huge open field of space, and I think it's just play calling at its best. Honestly.
Absolutely.
And that's what Sean Payton's here for, is to be the offensive mastermind that he is. And Todd, this has really just opened my eyes even more to how brilliant Sean is and how much he's helping this offense. And there's no doubt Russ is playing really good football. There's no doubt the offensive line is playing incredible and getting better by the week. But also they're being helped out by great coaching as well.
Absolutely, because I think it makes everybody's job easier, because even the tight end Troutman on this block, all I got to do is put a hand on you. You've messed yourself up because of how my coach called the play. This is an easy kick out block, easy down blocks. Myles Garrett's not even a factor. They're playing well, but Sean is definitely having a part in their success.
Yep, I love it. Man, the inside scoop is the best. Todd, you break it down incredibly well.